Good evening, and welcome to the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers Annual General Meeting. I'm going to introduce my colleague, Liam Terry, who is going to be going over a brief tutorial video on how to vote and the voting platform that we are going to be using for tonight. So Liam, please start sharing your screen.
All right. Everyone see my screen okay? We're good? Awesome. So what you should have in front of you, you'll have joined the Zoom. On here I have not, but you'll have the Zoom. If you don't see it, you might have gone full screen in the Zoom. So just make sure to, when it's time to vote, in the top right corner, you can just get a full screen so you can see the voting panel here. When a question is live, you'll be able to vote on it here. Just choose your choice, click submit, and then make sure to confirm that vote. And you'll get this message that your vote was submitted if you voted successfully. And then if you can't see a vote and the vote is live, you can always refresh the page up here. This is what it'll look like now if there are no questions live. But yeah, you can find your refresh button normally by the URL up here, or you could hit Control R on your keyboard if you're having trouble finding that refresh button. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Liam. And again, if anyone is having any issues or has questions around the voting platform, please feel free to send Liam or myself a message in the chat. So without further delay, it is my pleasure to introduce the chair of the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, Dave Carnegie.
Good evening, and again, welcome to the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers 2025 Annual General Meeting. I will begin my greetings by acknowledging that I am coming to you virtually from my home in Kingston. We are on the traditional homeland of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat, and thank these nations for their care and stewardship over the shared land. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. As settlers, we are grateful for the opportunity to live, work, and play in this territory. All attendees will have a copy of the AGM package located in the chat box. The floor will be open to questions prior to the vote on each motion and during the member question period towards the end of the meeting. When asking questions, we ask that you be succinct and respect that there are others in attendance who wish to be heard. Please ask only one question at a time and note that there will be no motions from the floor. I would now like to thank our valued partners, our premier partners, BMS, Manulife, National Bank, and the Personal Home and Auto Group Insurer. Our signature partners include Canada Life, Centennial College, Crozier Consulting Engineers, Epic Training, Member Perks, and the Nuclear Management Organization. Our innovator partners include AIM Group Canada Limited, Corestone Law, Notarius, and the Rotman School of Management at the University of Toronto. Our community partners include all of those organizations listed on your screen. On behalf of all OSPE members, thank you to our partners for your incredible and ongoing support of Ontario's engineering community. I would now like to take a moment to thank our current board of directors, our vice chair, Nick Bergwin, our past chair, Stephanie Holko, our treasurer, Raymond Mantha, our secretary, Megan James, director, Sandra Ausma, director, Nick Colucci, director, Mark Emanuel, director, Dr. Marilyn Powers, director, Jane Ravenshaw, director, Beatrice C., and director, Caroline Voitila. Thank you to all my colleagues for helping to lead the organization during this term. Now, I officially call the meeting to order. This is the annual meeting of members of the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers. As chair of the society, I shall act as chair of this meeting. Data on the Spot, our IT support team, will act as our technical moderators. The notice of this meeting was sent to all members, to each director, and to the society's auditors. A copy of the notice will be kept by the secretary with the records of this meeting. I now ask our technical moderator, Data on the Spot, to advise if we have a quorum of regular members present.
We confirm that there is a quorum of regular members present.
Thank you. We'll now proceed with the business of the meeting and declare this meeting to be duly constituted for the transaction of business. All attendees have been provided with an agenda for the meeting and a package of support materials, including OSPE's annual report, which includes our audited financial statements. All society regular members present today are entitled to vote on motions. As has been noted, you can move and second a motion with the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. When a vote is called, minimize your screen and you will cast your vote via the widget on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're not able to see the vote, please refresh your page. The AGM package has been posted in the chat box. Anyone who wanted to designate another person to be their proxy at this meeting was required under our bylaws to submit a proxy form to our offices at least 2 business days prior to this meeting. The deadline for receipt of proxies was 4:30 p.m. on Friday, May 2nd, 2025. I now submit for approval the minutes of the last meeting of members held on May 7th, 2024. A copy of the minutes of that meeting has been provided to every person present. May I have a member move the motion to approve the minutes as circulated? Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
Sorry, it's moved by Stephanie Hoko, and it's seconded by Marilyn Powers.
Great. Thank you. Are there any errors, omissions, or discussion? You can either use the raise hand button or enter your question in the chat box. The button is located on the control panel. And so, Val, I'm not seeing any raised hands or anything noted in the chat.
No, there's no raised hands in the
Okay,
chat.
so we will now call for a vote. Remember to minimize your screen and you will cast your vote by the widget on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're not able to see the vote, please refresh your page. Okay, I'm told the vote is now live. I did have to refresh my screen to see it. Okay, so we have the results of the vote, and it's a vote in favor. So the motion carries.
The results are noted on the right-hand side of the screen for anyone that wants to see the percentage of votes.
Thank you, Val. So before we move forward with our next item, I would also like to thank our partners from the engineering community for joining us here this evening. This includes the Professional Engineers of Ontario, PO, Engineers Canada, the Ontario Association of Engineering Technicians and Technologists, OSET, and the Ontario Professional Engineers Foundation for Education. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration with you for many years to come. I now welcome our CEO, Sandra Perusa, who has joined me to deliver the report from the chair and CEO. While this evening serves as an important governance function, we would also like to highlight some of the exciting progress and achievements we've made in serving members and the engineering community in 2024.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm happy to report that I'm now in my 10th year of service at OSPE. And even more importantly, OSPE is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year, a milestone we can all be very proud of. Now, I'm not generally one for nostalgia, but when you reach a milestone like this, I think a little bit of happiness and flex can be merited, especially when OSPE has so much to be proud of over the last year. As we will hear tonight, and of course throughout its history. I know some of you were not members when OSPE was created, but its formation was here to service a need for advocacy on behalf of engineers in ways that a regulatory body just can't and shouldn't. Throughout this year, we will be celebrating a number of past achievements and prominent contributions. And work we have done in 2024 is so deeply rooted in the spirit and mission that our founding members and volunteers had in mind. In 2024, we actually expanded the scope of our advocacy efforts. And as it turns out, we were somewhat prophetic in thinking beyond our provincial borders, knowing that in many ways, the economy and the community of Ontario is driving a significant amount of the national agenda. As a result, in 2024, we held our first Advocacy Day in Ottawa, on a simple premise that Ontario's challenges and opportunities are also national challenges and opportunities. The reception OSPE received was very positive, and we're planning to do so again in the near future. But this year's election cycle forced us to change our plans. That event and our annual Lobby Day at Queen's Park were successful examples of how OSPE is engaging on behalf of the engineering community at the highest levels of government to make sure that engineers are included and respected in decision-making. If you review our annual report, you will see a number of policy wins where our input has been duly considered in moving our community forward. It's a little sad that both of these events had to be scuttled this spring because of the elections, but we're looking into ways to make up for it this fall. OSPE's advocacy efforts are always evolving. They are based on feedback from our members like you. In fact, 2024 saw the emergence of two new working groups, our Engineering Smart Communities and our Artificial Intelligence Working Group. Both were tasked for leaning on the wisdom, knowledge, and integrity of the engineering community to make sure that urban development and technology development are sustainable and thoughtful. Our Engineering Smart Communities Working Group is focused on trying to address the housing crisis, not just by building, but making sure solutions are forward-thinking and not just stopgaps. As for AI, it's been integrated into so many sectors so quickly that we need to pause and examine how, why, and what these effects are. Both of these working groups are an example of what OSPE does best, bringing together passionate, experienced engineers and tasking them to make recommendations that can influence policy for the province and beyond. 2024 was also a good year for OSPE and our Engineering Academy. With POC's PEAK program finally showing some teeth, we have never seen so many members and other members of the engineering community come to OSPE looking to learn. Our EngLearn platform makes it easy to access asynchronous learning content, and the community is telling us that our efforts are reaching their targets. Best of all, engineering employers are beginning to get more comfortable and encouraging their engineering teams to utilize OSPE, whether they are members or not. The outlook of our academy is very positive, and 2025 is likely to be another year of new highs in participation in learning. Another important feature of the last year was also been planning for and investing in OSPE's future. That includes the development of our new strategic plan, which we'll get into a little further into it later into tonight's program, as well as investments in our organizational capacity, in our people, and the technology we use to engage members and the engineering community on a daily basis. Even though OSPE has been around for 25 years, I truly believe there's so much more opportunity for this organization to make deeper inroads within and beyond the engineering community. And with the support and guidance from our members, I look for an expanded presence for our organization in the future. Now, before I pass the screen back to Dave, I'm excited to make a small announcement. In recognition of our productive past and our exciting future, OSPE is introducing Fellowship of the Society program. This provides OSPE with an opportunity to acknowledge those who have made contributions to the growth and impact of our society, providing value for the members and the engineering community and beyond. This process of identifying and recognizing members will be a collaborative effort between OSPE staff and the OSPE Awards Committee, and we will be posting the finalized criteria in the weeks to come. This program reflects our values of excellence, equity, and impact, and offers us another platform to celebrate the outstanding people shaping our profession. In addition to recognizing our members, OSPE has also created an honorary fellowship of the Society, which permits OSPE to recognize those who have made contributions to the Society and to the engineering community, which are great, but those who are not eligible for OSPE membership. All fellows will receive a fellowship pin, a certificate, and a right to use the post-nominal FOS, which stands for Fellow of the Society. I look forward to acknowledging our first class of fellows later this year. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Sandro. I hate to be cliche, but time really flies. I can't believe how fast the past year has gone by, and with the way that 2025 has started, things are nowhere near slowing down in our engineering community. From my fellow board members to our dedicated volunteers, committee members, to the professional staff, I am always impressed by the work of OSPE. It is just one of the many reasons I was interested in volunteering with OSPE. Thank you all for the work that you do for our members. When I reflect on the past year, I'm proud of the fact that we have stuck to what our members told us they want from their association. It falls into a few key areas, which include focused advocacy, support for professionals, and career development. OSPE at its core is an advocacy organization. The engineering community has so much to offer, and through OSPE, we can contribute evidence and advice to the government in so many meaningful ways. We can help direct the future of the profession by engaging in the academic community and engineering employers. In my hometown of Kingston, we held a corporate breakfast last fall, and over the course of an hour, I felt so much camaraderie, pride, some frustration, and mostly inspiration for our sector. OSPE uses these events as sensing opportunities, and they're so meaningful as they introduce OSPE and its capacity, while also ensuring that the objectives of the organization are aligned with what is really going on. We had a number of these corporate breakfast sessions over the course of the year, and will continue the practice in 2025. OSPE advocacy is not just telling government where their policies might fail. It is understanding how the engineering community can contribute to better solutions and making sure that policies are evidence-based and positioned to succeed on a systems level. When our community's viewpoints are presented with intelligence and conviction, that is where the real magic happens. When we ask our members what they are most looking for from their membership, the most popular answer we can receive is professional development. That can take many forms, but for most in our community, that means CPD credits to satisfy their licensing requirements. In response, OSPE has been creating a growing library of learning opportunities, many of which are included in your membership. With so much variety to choose from and available options growing weekly, OSPE truly is the best source for engineers who need to maintain their license and improve their skill set. I really want to emphasize that last point. I know some think that CPD can only be a requirement, but if you reframe it as an opportunity, there's so much more to be gained. For you, for your organization, for the engineering community, and for OSPE. The more skilled you become, the more you can help with our advocacy and subject matter expertise needs. OSPE is a professional association, and for many of our members, how we help launch or grow their careers is a vital legacy. In addition to our CPD program, OSPE annually helps hundreds of engineering graduates and mid-career professionals explore employment in the sector, bringing them directly to employers through our popular engineering employment events. In this endeavor and in many others, OSPE is the perfect intermediary. Many of the attendees at these events are engineers trained in other countries. And in a very important way, we are helping them find their way in the profession and in the engineering community. For some time, OSPE has known that Ontario needs more engineers, and the ambitious progress demands of the day confirm it. These newcomers add important diversity in culture and experience to our engineering community. OSPE welcomes their presence, and we encourage the community to give them the opportunity to be a part of our growth story over the next 25 years. In closing, I would like to thank Sandro for joining me to deliver this report today, and to all of you, OSPE's dedicated members and ambassadors, who contribute your time and expertise. I extend my deepest gratitude to you for your engagement with OSPE. Please continue to show up, voice your needs and concerns, and help OSPE advocate for the profession you chose. I would now like to welcome OSPE's Vice Chair and Chair of the Board Development and Strategic Planning Committee, Nick Bergwin, to help Sandro present our 2025-2030 strategic plan.
Okay, as many of you know, OSPE is committed to reviewing and renewing its strategic plan on a 3-year cycle. As such, our most recent plan closes with this AGM, and your board of directors have been busy over the past 12 months to develop OSPE's next strategic plan. This process involved gathering as a board, engaging consultants, engaging our members and the engineering community, and then laying out the direction for the organization for the years to come. Now, the primary difference this year compared to those of the past is that this strategic plan is looking further into the future than we have traditionally. Put simply, the changes we want to see are more systemic than tactical, and we need significant more time horizon to be able to measure real progress. So let's walk through it together. And looking to create more impact for the engineering community, OSPE has formulated new vision and mission statements. Our new vision, is that engineers leading organizations to innovation, prosperity, and safety. Our new mission is that OSPE is the home for Ontario's engineering community, supporting and empowering it to build a better tomorrow for all. In examining these statements, I don't think we have really changed our ethos at all. We're using language that is broader and I think bolder. Again, this really hasn't changed, but in situations like this, I think it's good to remember that OSPE is the only organization that does what we do. Not PO, not the Association of Engineering Companies of Ontario. No other engineering organization offers the full breadth of services that we do. Now, these organizations are vitally important and have critical roles to play. But OSPE remains the champion of Ontario's engineers, no matter the discipline or experience level, no matter the sector or where they were trained. We do this because we believe that engineers can make so many contributions to our communities and the economy. We know that the more we can empower them, the better those systems can operate and grow. Now, similar to past OSPE's work and our past plans, our work is rooted in 4 key principles: engineers unite, engineers lead, engineers care, and engineers prosper. Again, these are not a grand departure from what was foundation for our last strategic plan, but I really want to focus on the first one that really has changed and reflect on the fact that as an engineering community, we need to be more coordinated to realize changes that are desired in terms of evaluating the appreciation of engineers and evaluating their services. The other principles remain paramount, of course, in that engineers are obligated to lead, and OSPE will always lead the charge towards barrier-free working environments where talent and merit can thrive.
Thanks, Andrew. So moving on to the challenges. While the engineering community has a number of challenges and opportunities, the ones that really crystallized in the development of this plan were the inclusion of engineers in leadership roles, in government, in industry, and beyond. This creates opportunities for the problem-solving abilities of our members and the engineering community to be more consistently leaned on, and a need to change the culture of the engineering community to reduce biases, making the professions more attractive to talent and enabling that talent to thrive. In bringing our updated strategy to life, here's how we've grouped the activities. The first is creating a culture where engineering talent is valued and a profession is free of biases and barriers. The second is standing up to the rights of engineers and the value of engineering. The third is enhancing skills and the adoption of new technology. And the fourth is redefining engineering in a new era. Now, these actions confirm OSPE's intent to create an equitable and diverse engineering community. Our focus is on education and engagement, as our community is constantly changing and evolving, and individuals and organizations need the tools to support that. This is where OSPE can provide. OSPE has always been fully committed to promoting the value of engineers. What we have learned over time is that we need to be more specific to empower our members and the entire community so that engineering is not considered a commodity product. By emphasizing qualification-based selection, sustainable procurement, and fairness, OSPE is seeking to increase the desirability of working in the profession at all career stages. Now, in hearing from people across the industry, a common concern is how job-ready engineering graduates are and where the leaders of engineering firms are going to come from tomorrow. Put simply, there is a gap in engineering education that needs to be filled, one that might also stem the tide of graduates seeking employment in unlicensed sectors. OSPE has a role to play as an important intermediary, engaging students, engineering faculties, and employers in equal measure. We also have a role to play in helping engineers grow and advance their careers through strategic upskilling. Our Engineering Academy was created not just to help the community meet the minimum standards of licensure, but to continually elevate the careers of engineers, an always available resource for all career stages. When it comes to redefining engineering, OSPE plays a critical role in making sure that as times change, our engineering community is changing along with it. Whether that is culture modernization or adaptation and implementation of new technologies, engineers are at the forefront of economic and community development. OSPE is committed to ensuring that change allows engineering practitioners in all of their forms to thrive in their roles and that the environment, especially regulatory environment, is effective. So, as you can see, the different focuses of the strategic plan are mutually reinforcing, and OSPE will be working on all of them with the diligence and attention to detail that they each deserve. You can find a copy of the strategic plan in your AGM package and also on our website. We'll be happy to answer any questions during the member question and answer period. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandro and Nick. Our next item of business is a report from the nominating committee. I now welcome the chair of the nominating committee, Mark Emanuel, to deliver his report.
Thank you very much, Dave. I'm pleased to provide the report to the membership on behalf of the 2025 nominating committee, which included myself, Megan James, Philip Daw, John Per Kamel, and Caroline Woodhouse. The primary duty of this committee is to ensure that the nomination process is fair, transparent, and open to all eligible members, and that the elections are conducted in a professional and accountable manner. They will present a slate of candidates to the board and shall seek to balance the skills, experience, in special requirements of the open board positions because of the normal rotations of a 3-year term. According to the nomination and election procedure set out in the society's bylaw, I announce that the following professional engineers shall be directors of the society to hold office for a 3-year term. Andra Osma, John Hesu, Inga Hipsey, and Ray Manta. All directors will take office immediately following the close of this meeting. Welcome to the OSPE board. I want to say thank you to all the candidates who took time out of their busy schedule to run in this year's election. Your dedication and commitment to your profession is genuinely appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you to the entire nominating committee. Definitely a strong slate of candidates and a difficult decision for our membership. Our next item of business is the presentation of the financial statements of the Society for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2024. At this time, I would like to call upon our Treasurer, Ray Mantha, to report on the audited financial statements for 2024. So bear with us. Ray is having a technical challenge.
Sorry, Dave. Ray should be unmuted now. Okay, Dave, he is continuing to have some problems. Dave, can you actually, Mark was a little bit grainy on his tech side. So can you continue delivering the report from the treasurer, please?
Sure. So on behalf of the treasurer, I'll present the treasurer's report for the 2024 fiscal year. We would be pleased to answer any questions during the members' question segment of the AGM, and I would ask that all questions be held until that time. The financial statements for the year ending December 31st, 2024 were audited by BDO Canada LLP. BDO has given an unqualified opinion on the financial statements, and a copy of the audited financial statements is included in your AGM package. I would now like to review a summary of our revenues and expenses for 2024. In 2024, OSPE realized total revenues of $4,609,245 and incurred total expenses of $4,599,736. This is in excess of revenues over expenses in the amount of $9,509. Major revenues were generated through the following means: membership fees, approximately $1.3 million, royalties, approximately $1.8 million, government projects, approximately $200,000, advertising and sponsorships, approximately $649,000, professional development and career center, approximately $379,000. The largest components of the overall expenses incurred in 2024 included administration, $501,000, event production, approximately $853,000, advertising, promotions, and publications, approximately $297,000, government projects, $184,000, insurance and professional services, approximately $500,000, rent, approximately $129,000, wages and benefits, approximately $1.86 million, travel and volunteer expenses, approximately $159,000. The remaining other expenses include governance, sponsorship, and telecommunications. This concludes the report from the treasurer. If there are any questions regarding the 2024 audited financial statements, you will have the opportunity to pose them during the members' question period towards the end of the AGM. I would like to, I'm riffing off my script. On behalf of the Audit and Finance Committee, which includes Sandra Ausma, Ray Mantha, Nick Colucci, Mark Emanuel, and Carolyn Voitila, I would now like to present the report of the Audit and Finance Committee and the appointment of auditors. The committee issued RFPs, which are requests for proposals, to various audit firms in 2022 for a 5-year commitment. This was conducted as a matter of good business practice and due diligence. As a result of this review, as well as the professional and efficient delivery of high-quality service, the committee and the OSPE board recommends that BDO Canada LLP be appointed as auditors for 2025. To that end, I move that BDO Canada LLP be appointed auditors of the Society to hold office until the next annual meeting or until their successors are appointed, and that the board of directors of the Society be authorized to fix the auditor's remuneration. Is there a second? Please use the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
Nick Colucci seconds.
Thank you, Nick. Are there any errors, omissions, or discussion? You can either use the raise hand button or enter your question in the chat box. The button is located on the control panel.
There is nothing in the chat and there are no raised hands.
Thank you, Val. All regular members will now we'll now call a vote of the regular members. Remember to minimize your screen, and you will cast your vote via the widget on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're not able to see the vote, please refresh your page. And so I'm told the vote is live. And you may need to refresh your screen. And if your view of the Zoom meeting enlarged, as it did for me, you'll have to minimize it. It's the two little pointy arrows pointing at each other in the top right corner of your screen. Everyone, one more minute. I'm told the voting is starting to slow.
The motion is carried.
Thank you, Val. Declare the motion carried.
You can see the results on the right-hand side of the screen.
So we now have some time set aside for general member questions from the floor. This meeting is your opportunity to have your questions addressed by the board. I ask that you keep your questions concise so that we may answer them in a timely manner and allow for as many questions as possible. We will permit each member to ask one question at a time. Please note that any questions with respect to the licensure process should be directed to the licensing and regulatory body, Professional Engineers Ontario. If you wish to receive information on professional development assistance on your road to licensure, please contact OSPE staff at pd@ospe.on.ca. We will begin with questions that were submitted through the registration process.
Okay, the first question that came in through the registration process: what is OSPE doing to promote racial minorities to positions on the board of directors and at OSPE in general? Also, is OSPE looking to have more regional representation on the board, specifically representatives from defined geographic constituencies like MPs in the House of Commons, MPPs in Queen's Park, or city councillors? I'll have the CEO answer that question.
Okay. Thank you for the question. First off, as you can see from our strategic plan, and if you look at our values, OSPE is deeply committed to advancing equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility across all levels of our organization, including our board. I'm extremely proud that our board currently reflects gender parity and includes members from diverse racial and cultural backgrounds. That said, we know that building lasting representative diversity is an ongoing effort, not a checkbox. OSPE actively encourages all our members to participate in our board elections and apply for roles within the organizations on our different committees and task forces. We also strive to ensure that our recruitment, leadership development, and nomination processes are inclusive, transparent, and free of systemic barriers. Now, as Mark mentioned, we have a nominating committee that was led this year by Mark Emanuel, and their work is to ensure that we maintain a competency-based board. So the role of the nominating committee is to seek the balance of skills, experience, diversity, regional representation, and qualities of directors, including special requirements of the corporation that are needed from time to time. This includes not only technical skills and leadership experience, but also diversity, regional representation, and alignment with OSPE's values and strategic priorities. Now, OSPE is not structured to mirror the constituency-based representation of governments like Parliament or Queen's Park. We do recognize the importance of regional perspectives, and that's why we strive to ensure that our board and volunteers represent the geographic and sectorial diversity of Ontario's community, including northern, rural, and urban voices. And I'm happy to state that over the 10 years that I've been at OSPE, our board has not only been racially diverse, have gender parity, but our representatives have come from right across all corners of the province. Now, the last part, I'm not quite sure if you were referring to why don't we have MPs or MPs on our board. So OSPE's board of directors is composed of engineers elected by our members who represent the professional interests in Ontario. While we highly value engagement at all levels of government, our board is not intended to include sitting elected officials such as MPs, MPPs, or city councillors in order to preserve the nonpartisan nature of our work. However, we work closely with elected officials, government staff, and regulators to ensure that engineers have a strong voice in shaping public policy. Thank you for your question.
Okay, the second question is how will OSPE help to increase the salary of the engineering profession?
Okay, another really good question, and something some of my board members ask me quite frequently as well. So OSPE has been active in in advocating for better compensation, influence, and recognition for engineers in Ontario. In fact, that's why we were founded. While OSPE does not directly set salaries, we actively work to influence the conditions that determine compensation through advocacy, data, policy development, and professional support. So what are we directly doing? First is government advocacy. OSPE regularly engages with provincial decision makers to push for policies that value engineering experience more highly, including fair compensation for their work. For example, we've been advocating for qualifications-based selection on the procurement of engineering services in Ontario. We developed a fees guideline document to provide clear, standardized guidance on fair compensation for engineering services across multiple disciplines. These guidelines will empower engineers to negotiate appropriately for their expertise and help the public and private sector clients understand the value of engineering work. We also advocated for engineers to be compensated in line with their responsibilities and qualifications, especially in the public sector where pay gaps are often more pronounced, through our advocacy for pay equity legislation. Our annual salary surveys which publishes detailed salary reports each year that provide competitive compensation levels, which helps engineers negotiate better salaries and help employers understand the different levels of pay. Through workshops and webinars, we offer tools and courses to improve negotiation skills, resume building, and career advancement, essential for increasing individual earning potential. OSPE provides opportunities for engineers to connect with mentors and industry leaders, which can lead to career growth and salary increases. Through our engineering influence campaigns, OSPE runs these campaigns to educate the public and the government about the value engineers bring to society, pushing for more recognition and higher professional status. Through our media and outreach, we regularly highlight issues that engineers face, including compensation. Through our op-eds, interviews, and partnerships, we demonstrate the value that engineers bring and the fact that they need to be compensated more. Thank you.
And one last question that was submitted ahead of time during registration. is with respect to the strategic plan. What process did OSPE utilize to conclude on the top 3 priorities of the 2025-2030 strategic plan? Also, which milestones will be utilized to track the progress of the work effort over the next 2 years to achieve the planned outcomes?
Okay, thank you again for the question. I touched on this a little bit during our presentation of the strategic plan, but I will expand a bit more. The process involved gathering as a board. So the board, we have a board development and strategic planning committee. That committee of the board sets the guidelines for how we're going to do the strategic planning. We engaged outside consultants to help us develop the strategic planning process as well. Those consultants engaged our members through surveys, through one-on-one interviews, through group interviews, to ensure that both our members and a broader engineering community provided input into the challenges and the opportunities that they were facing. Once we gathered all that, we laid that out to the board so that they understood what the challenges were, and they helped set that direction for the organization to address for years to come. The consultants, again, conducted interviews with not only our members, but also other stakeholders. They did a comparative organizational scan and then held an all-day workshop with our board of directors to review the findings. Once the plan was put together and approved by the board, we held several virtual town halls where the membership had the opportunity to provide further input. And I can tell you, based on that input, we did make 2 small adjustments to our strategic plan. That went back to the board for review and approval. We're now developing an organizational plan and key performance indicators, which will monitor our progress over the next 5 years. Myself, as the CEO, will provide updates on the key performance indicators at every meeting of the board, and then we'll give you also results at our AGM. Now, what is different about this one, as I mentioned, is that we have a longer term horizon. So while most strategic plans are 3 to 5 years, and of course this one is a 5-year plan, our actual key performance indicators, when will we be successful? We're actually looking at this will probably be a 15-year horizon for us to achieve 2 things. One is true equity, diversity, inclusion, and parity in the profession. And the other one is getting society to understand the true value that engineering brings to not only society, but also to the average engineer's working world. So we want engineers know the value they bring, but we want the clients to truly understand the value they bring. We want governments to truly understand the value they bring. And we want engineering organizations to truly understand the value that their engineers bring to their organizations. In order for us to have true success and for that to be sustainable, we anticipate that this is going to take a generational change. Thank you.
Okay, there's 2 questions that came in through the chat, and 1 comment and request for consideration. And thank you, Phil Sweetnam, with respect to having more of our events, conferences in a hybrid format to be able to have participation for members from all across Ontario. That is something that we do consider at OSPE, and we will have a staff member contact you directly to discuss that option further. The second question that has come in is, does OSPE see including the 30 by 30 national program within its strategy of creating a culture free of bias? Sandro?
Yeah, I can actually, yes. So OSPE is actually a partner of the 30 by 30 national program. We are one of the Ontario champions. I've been attending the 30 by 30 meetings for many years. Attended the 30 by 30 national conference as well. We provide input to the 30 by 30 champions on some of the projects that we've done, including the Breaking Barriers project, through the achieving equity and diversity and inclusion through fair procurement processes. And we're currently working on our 3rd research project, which is looking at the impact of working from home on equity-seeking groups. So this, the long answers was all that. The short answer is we're already part of the 30 by 30 national program.
Great. The other question that's come in, are there continuing discussions with PO regarding the purpose and future of local chapters? And if so, what is the current status? What is OSPE's position on this matter?
Okay, this is a great question. So we, in January of 2023, I believe it was in January 2023, had a joint session with the PEO Council and the OSPE Board of Directors, where we brought up the future of chapters. OSPE believes the chapters would be better serviced if they belong with us, because if you look at what the chapters do, it's advocacy at the regional level. And if they were part of OSPE, I think they could do a lot more in that regards. There would be less barriers for them to do some of the things that they want to do. And there'd be stronger alignment with what OSPE is doing. Sorry, it was in January 2024. Thank you, Nanda, for correcting me. However, the chapters belong to PO Council. They took that back. We talked about some of the challenges and opportunities, but ultimately it's PO's decision what to do with the chapters. We're ready to continue that conversation whenever they're ready to continue it with us.
Okay. A question came in, where can I find more information about the mentoring process provided by OSPE and what is the purpose of the program? We do have a section on our website with respect to mentoring. Sandro, did you want to speak a little bit more on that?
Sure. We have our mentoring program was first established to help people through the licensing process, especially for engineering graduates who didn't graduate from a Canadian engineering or accredited engineering program. So the licensing process for someone from outside Canada who has their education internationally, it was a bit more challenging. They needed a local network to get some job experience as well because of the experience requirements and help them navigate that process. That was why we originally established it. Since then, it's been expanded to help mentors or mentees understand all the different career options available to them with their engineering degree, how to navigate the job cycle, the job search process. We have additional programs and webinars to help with that as well. If you want to access that program, the best way to do it is go through to our website or send a message to info@ospe.on.ca, and we can try to set you up with a mentor.
There is one other question in the chat about the Canadian Science and Engineering Hall of Fame. Can OSPE nominate someone like the brilliant engineer, Sir Kashmir Gowsky?
Okay. Let me see. That one, I can't see the question. Okay, there. Okay, so the question came: Can OSPE nominate someone like the? So OSPE has our own awards program, the Ontario Professional Engineering Awards, which is specific to Ontario. Engineers Canada does have national engineering awards as well. So if there's someone would like to get nominated at the national level, they can certainly approach Engineers Canada through that nomination process. If Maria, see that you've asked a question. If you think that Sir Kazimir Gzowski is worthy of an engineering award in Ontario, I encourage you and your colleagues to fill out a nomination for him for the Ontario Awards.
Okay, I am not seeing any raised hands. And there are no further questions in the chat or the Q&A function. So I believe all the questions now have been answered unless there's any other questions. Oh, one raised hand, sorry. Just got to that. Maria, Maria, let me see. Oh,
Okay. Can you hear
yeah.
me?
Yes, we
Oh,
can.
Oh, wonderful. Maybe the brilliant engineer, Sir Kazimierz Gzowski, is not so well known in Ontario, but I mean, he created the engineering profession and so on. So having him in the Hall of Fame could be exceptional role model for all the plans that you have drafted here. Actually, analyzing his approach to engineering through the plan that you proposed today would give really wonderful roadmap how to accomplish what you are trying to do now. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'll be honest. I'm unaware of his work, so I will definitely do my research and read up on him. Thank you.
Okay. There's a question, but with respect to the recording, yes, the AGM is recorded and will be on our website before the end of the week. There are no further, oh, let me just check. Looks like we are just confirming. Yep, there are no other questions or raised hands. Dave, if you want to close out the question period.
So thank you for your questions. If you have a question that has not been addressed, please feel free to contact the Society's office anytime. Contact information can be found on the OSPE website. Our staff will make every effort to assist you or to forward your inquiries to the appropriate board member for a response. Throughout my tenure as chair of OSPE, I've been deeply grateful for the dedication and support of my fellow board members, several of whom are concluding their terms this year. I'd like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks to our outgoing board members of the board of directors for their invaluable contributions and service. Stephanie Holko is completing her second term, 4 years of service to the OSPE board and to our membership. During this time, Stephanie became our voice of reason, challenging the board to be bold. She took on the role of vice chair, followed by chair, and led with integrity, the ability to influence others without dominating, personal strength, emotional intelligence, and decisiveness. She chaired our board development and strategic planning committee, executive committee, and human resources committee, helping the board and staff implement various initiatives that drove policies to ensure the solid stewardship of the organization. Jane Ravenshaw was elected to the OSPE board in 2022 and quickly began to share her knowledge and experience with respect to marketing and customer experience. During her term, she actively participated on the Audit and Finance Committee, the Board Development and Strategic Planning Committee, as well as the Research and Innovation Task Force, and most recently on the Artificial Intelligence Working Group. Behind every successful member association, there is an extraordinary volunteer team. On behalf of OSPE, I thank you, Stephanie, and you, Jane, for contributing so much of your time, energy, and efforts to the engineering community. It has been my pleasure to work with you. I look back on this past year with immense pride at what we've accomplished together. It has been a privilege to serve in this role, and I'm deeply grateful for the trust and support of my fellow board members, our leadership team, and the entire organization. During this term, we faced challenges, embraced opportunities, and made significant progress towards our goals. From advancing our strategic priorities to strengthening our governance practices and fostering a more inclusive culture, I'm proud of the work we've done and the foundation we've built for the future. It's now my pleasure to introduce someone whose leadership, insight, and steady guidance have been invaluable, our Vice Chair of the Board, Nick Burgwin. Nick has been a trusted partner, a thoughtful voice in every discussion, and a key contributor to the progress we've made. His deep commitment to our mission and his ability to lead with both clarity and compassion have made a lasting impact on this board and on our organization as a whole.
Thanks, Dave. I get now to say on behalf of the board, I'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to you and to your outstanding leadership and unwavering commitment throughout this past year. However, you could have used the gavel more. I will put that out there. Under your guidance, we've navigated complex challenges, embraced meaningful change, and moved forward with a stronger sense of purpose and direction. You brought not only strategic insight and steady leadership, but also a genuine care for the people and the mission at the heart of this organization. Your contributions left a lasting legacy, and we thank you sincerely for your service, your vision, and the integrity in which you've led. Like every successful OSPE chair before you, you started off your term leading your foursome in the OSPE sold-out annual golf tournament at Angus Glen. If it was like me, probably went really badly. Then the real work began, though, leading our board in the initial brainstorming retreat and to help our development of the strategic plan for the 2025 to 2030 overall plan. You represented OSPE at our engineering conference at Caesars Place in Windsor, Ontario, and at our Ontario Professional Engineers Award Gala in Vaughan, Ontario, celebrating the achievements of our colleagues. You led our board through quarterly meetings and encouraged us to be strategic, curious, courageous, collegial, and reminded us to think about really the main thing that you kept reminding us is what problem are we really trying to solve? On behalf of OSPE, I extend our sincere appreciation for your your professionalism, steadfast dedication, and inspiring leadership. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Nick. We've now come to the end of our meeting. I ask that all members of the 2025-2026 OSPE Board of Directors please join the prearranged teleconference meeting 10 minutes following the close of the AGM for the first meeting of the OSPE Board. There being no further business, I move to adjourn the 2025 Annual General Meeting. Is there a second? Please either raise the hand button, use the raise hand button, or type in the chat box.
Carl Bottomede has seconded the motion.
Thank you, Carl. We'll now call the vote. One final reminder, minimize your screen and you will cast your vote via the widget on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're not able to see the vote, please refresh your page. So I'm told the vote is live. We'll give everyone a minute to complete their voting. It's on mute. The motion carries. I now declare the 2025 Annual General Meeting closed. Thank you again for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good evening. Dave, we'll see you in 10 minutes.